see you walking down the street. You got a mystifying wind go from your head to your feet. You got a shock with pulsating rip through my brain. You know you're so mystifying, you just ain't the same. You know you're so mystifying. You know you're so
When you hear about all of the bands who say that they've been influenced by the Kinks, they usually think about that Village Green stuff, and not records like that, alas. That was their So Mystifying, and before that, it was I Don't Like Ho Hey on Japan Overseas Records by DJ Carhouse and MC Hellshit. And one or two fax messages. There's where on Magic Eye Records from the LP The Seven-Pointed Star, this is Australasia and Four Moons, which, as you probably gathered, is nothing at all about sticking your bottom out of car windows. Tomorrow between 8 and 10, we've got Soho.
WBO Featherweight Championship of the World, sponsored by Adidas, The Sun and ART, and promoted by Frank Warren for Sports Network. The officials appointed for this contest by the WBO are the supervisor, Mr. Nick Kershaw. The referee in charge of the action for this contest is Mr. Roberto Ramirez of Puerto Rico. The judges at ringside, Mr. Michael Ortega from the USA, Mr. John Stewart from the USA, and also Mr. Gordon Volkman from the USA. The timekeeper at the bell, Mr. Barry Pinder from Sheffield. Introducing the boxers. Firstly, in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks trimmed with white, he comes from Entre Rios in Argentina and has a professional record of which he is unbeaten in 27 contests. 12 wins coming by way of KO. He tipped the scales at 8 stone 13 1/4 pounds. That's 125 1/4 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you from Argentina, Reigio Molina. And now, across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, Britain's most exciting world champion, coming from Sheffield, England, and the Yemen. He is wearing his trademark of the leopard skin and 3 stripes. And he weighed in at 8 stone 13 pound 12 ounces, 125 3/4 pounds. He is unbeaten in 23 contests, and having only been taken the distance twice, 21 wins have been by way of the big KO. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he defends his world crown for the 4th time. He is the WBO Featherweight Champion of the World, the King of the Ring, Prince Naseem.
And the Prince milks the applause. He's 20-1 on to retain his title. Molina 9-1.
Roberto Ramirez will give his instructions to both boxers.
I think Mike Goodall's losing his voice in all this excitement. So the final instructions then, as the boxers are called together in the ring. Is this the night that Hamed shows his best form once again after 2, by his high standards, indifferent performances? The WBO featherweight title is on the line. Reigio Molina against Prince Naseem Hamed. Roberto Ramirez, the referee, just issuing those final instructions, and then they'll touch gloves and back to their stalls. Richie Woodall's your summariser, your commentator, as ever, John Rawling.
And here we go then for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. 12 rounds. Reigio Molina, noticeably the taller man, as they stood nose to nose while they're getting instructions from referee Roberto Ramirez. Molina a little bit of a Robert De Niro look-alike, and here comes Hamed. He's made to miss with a big right hand, tried to throw a huge right hook with the first punch of the fight, and he's fighting out of a southpaw stance is Hamed, as too at the moment is Molina, who we're told can be a switch hitter. He can fight orthodox or he can fight behind the left lead, and Hamed wants to look good tonight after really struggling in his last fight against Medina. And listen to the cheers of the crowd. Hamed, Naseem, good right uppercut from Hamed, gone to the jaw of Molina. Molina takes it well though. Molina 4 years the older man, 26 years old, and you can hear the cheers just at ringside around us. Right uppercut again from Hamed, who's on his toes. He really has prepared very, very hard for this. I believe he went back to the drawing board after that last fight. He knew that the criticism was justified. He might have said one thing in public, but behind the scenes he knew that there were problems, and he knew he'd been made to look a little bit ragged by Manuel Medina, and tonight he wants to look right back at his very, very best. Quiet start, but a right hook now from Hamed as Medina came springing in behind a right lead. Medina said he'd take the first round to take a look at how Hamed fought and then work him out after that. Well, if he really believes that, he's got to be very careful in the first round, because Hamed has a habit of finishing these fights quickly, and Medina's made to miss with the right hand, and Hamed caught him with a right counter right hand again from Hamed, but Medina swayed back and he was out of range. Actually quite a quiet start to this. Big uppercut, right uppercut from Hamed, made to miss, and then a left hand just got through a slapping blow, and then a right hook from Hamed as Medina goes jumping in, and Hamed made to miss with a right hand, and then Medina comes through with a left into the side of the head. Hamed picks him off with a right hook into the side of the head, but Molina takes it well. Right jab from Hamed through the guard. The Argentinian, not a noted puncher here tonight in his 28th professional fight. He's won all 27 prior to this. Right hand from Molina got through, but Hamed picked him off as well. The two landed almost simultaneously. Hamed has this unorthodox style. He tries to throw his punches from low down and flicks the jab up into the face of Molina. Scores with one and another, and Molina ducks low. A right hook from Hamed was taken on the gloves, but a jab now does get through into the face of the challenger. Hamed, of course, who's heading possibly towards big unification fights against either Marco Antonio Barrera or Tom Johnson in the new year. Oh, a good right hand from Hamed, and Molina took it well though. He took it well, right hand went in. Oh, a tremendous right uppercut from Hamed. Molina somehow manages to stay upright. Two right jabs from Hamed. That was a superb punch from Hamed. Blurring hand speed. Molina did so well to take that and still be in there. This man's obviously got a good chin, we can say that about him already. Molina keeps the gloves up high, and not surprisingly after that uppercut, which Hamed now tries to repeat, he's made to miss. Molina misses with a clubbing left towards the side of the head. Left jab from a right jab rather from Hamed is made to miss. Molina's got the gloves up high now, and Hamed wins the first round, gives Molina the old-fashioned stare. Hamed stands centre ring, walks across towards Molina's corner, then almost Chris Eubank style circumnavigates the ring, finally goes back to his seat to take the words of Brendan Ingle, his trainer. What did you make of that, Richie Woodall?
Yeah, fantastic start by Naseem. He seems so loose, and his speed is absolutely phenomenal, and he's punching so hard with it. And a couple of times there was 2 or 3 uppercuts. They were textbook uppercuts, and they hit the target, and it's a wonder his head didn't come off his shoulders, to be honest. He did well to stay on his feet, I have to say that.
One right uppercut there was a tremendous shot from Hamed. Great punch, it really was.
Absolutely tremendous shot. He's launching them a little way off, if anything, but they are that fast, and we've just seen on the monitor there, and the Molina's head goes straight back, and unbelievable punch.
Well, he took it. Hamed's won the first round. Now he goes into the second. 9 of those 23 fights have finished in the second round. Hamed said, right hand, right hook, second minute, second round, and he's going to be mine. Is he going to be right? Here we go into round 2 of 12 WBO Featherweight Championship. Oh, good right uppercut again from Naseem Hamed. And this is virtuoso stuff from the Prince, the man who wants to establish himself as a legend, as he's told us again and again. Well, tonight he's looking certainly very much more the genuine article than he did in his previous contest. Molina comes in with a right hand and then a left, and Hamed is just forced back onto the ropes on the far side. He actually took one there and sniffed contemptuously as he cleared his passages, and now the action begins again. Molina coming forward, trying to cut off the ring, and is just swaying this way and that. Hamed lands with a right jab into the head of Molina. Molina with a little tuft of dark hair hanging down onto the nape of his neck. A little bit taller than Hamed, who's got his hair short tonight. Hamed misses with a right hand and pushes Molina to the floor. Referee Roberto Ramirez from Rio Piedras in Puerto Rico says no knockdown. Good right hand from Hamed, and also a good punch from Molina, who's really going to work now and fancies this job, I think. Hard he catches Hamed with a good straight right. Hamed takes it well. The two land simultaneously. And an uppercut from Hamed. He's got him. He's got Molina right hand. And is he going to go down? He's up somehow, is Molina. And they're going toe to toe. Molina's right the way across the ring. Is the towel going to come in? I don't think so, but he's unloading punch after punch, is Hamed. And Molina bravely comes back. Left hook from the Argentinian. Hamed takes it well, but two now big hooks from Hamed. And then back comes Molina off the ropes. Explodes off the ropes and throws a right and a left. You can't fault this young man from Argentina for courage. Hamed looked as though he was going to take him out there. And another right hand onto the chin of the Argentinian. Hamed just smiles. Oh, he's put him down now. It was a right-left combination. Down goes the Argentinian. And he went down with 2 minutes to go of the second round. He's not going to be counted out, I don't think. 53 seconds to go in the second round, but he's going to have a heck of a job getting through these closing seconds. He's been down once. Is he going to go down again? Hamed's now looking to end it. Molina's trying to cover up, but big right hand again from Hamed. Rocks back his head and a left. Molina staggers almost drunkenly along the ropes. Right hand from Hamed into the side of the head, and then another ramrod straight right thrown from low, and the referee stopped it. The referee has stopped it. Molina shrugs his shoulders and says, why? Why has it been stopped? I'm still on my feet, but Hamed hammered in a straight right hand, and he's still champion of the world. 22 years old, a phenomenal performance from Naseem Hamed. Reigio Molina, first time out of Argentina as a professional, shakes his head ruefully. He was in a different class tonight. Naseem Hamed has won it in the second round, 10th second round win in his 24th professional fight. 24 wins, 22 by way of stoppage, and still Richie Woodall, champion of the world.
Yeah.
They're both off. He's ticking off both fighters, and we almost had blows exchanged there. Just for a moment, it looked as though it was going to go out of control.
This is really stoking it up. We can see Collins then with the green boots are on, yellow laces. They're certainly stoking it up, these two. As we were saying, if it's going to be Nigel Benn's last night as a professional boxer, well, he's going to make sure it's a memorable one indeed. Now the Celtic Warrior's gone back to his corner, and the belt is being held up. Paul Thomas there just checking the gloves. He's just warming himself up. He's got Celtic Warrior across the top of his tartan trunks, has Steve Collins. Steve Collins on the right leg, and just every now and then we have to take our headphones off just to appreciate what a fearful din there is in here. 22,000 people, and they are certainly going to enjoy it. It's almost as if Richie Woodall, as we were saying, the first fight in July was so unsatisfying. Everybody wants to make sure this is conclusive.
Yeah, everyone wants to make sure it's a good fight, and when they come together, if anyone would have rung a bell, all hell would have cut loose. There was a few words exchanged, but the looks that they're giving each other, they really mean business tonight. There's no doubt about that.
Collins has said he's going to knock Ben out, and of course we've also got the WBC champion here, Robin Reed. I wonder what he makes of it all. He's sitting ringside. He's been talking to an awful lot of people. He'll be enjoying the experience.
Yeah, Robin said he thought that Steve Collins was going to win this fight. I spoke to him yesterday at the weigh-in, and Robin said if Ben's going to win it, he's got to get to him early. He's got to jump on him, try and get that punch power to pay early on. But he said that he believes that Collins is going to come out of it the winner. I tell you, somebody else is going to be a busy man in there tonight. The referee, Paul Thomas. Whatever he's earning, he deserves every penny.
Is Mike Goodall.
And sanctioned under the rules of the WBO. And the officials appointed for this contest are the supervisor from the United States, Mr. Nick Kershaw. The British Boxing Board of Control supervisor is Mr. John Morris, and the steward in charge, Mr. Tom Pendry, MC, Shadow Minister for Sport. The judges for this contest, Mr. Dennis Nielsen of the USA, Mr. Gordon Bolkman from the USA, and Mr. Roy Francis from London. And the referee in charge of the action for this contest from Derby, England, Mr. Paul Thomas. The timekeeper at the bell, Mr. Frank Capewell from Sheffield. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans across Europe, Asia and around the world, it's big fight time. Promoted by Frank Warren for Sports Network in association with our sponsors Adidas, The Sun and ART, who proudly present a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World between introducing the boxers. And firstly, from the red corner, wearing the all-black trunks and coming from Ilford in Essex, England, he weighed in at 11 stone, 13 pounds, that's 167 pounds. In his professional career, he has had 47 contests, 42 wins, 35 by way of the big KO with 4 losses and 1 draw. And tonight appears in his 16th world title contest. He comes to the ring, the former WBO middleweight champion of the world and former WBC super middleweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn.
Nigel Benn with the tattoos of chains around his arms and a sun tattooed on his back, very clear here to us about 4 or 5 yards from the ring here in Manchester.
And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, coming from Dublin in Ireland, wearing his familiar tartan trunks and weighing in at an even 12 stone, 168 pounds. His professional record of 36 contests, he has 33 wins, 18 by way of KO with 3 losses. Tonight he appears in his 7th World Championship and defends his title for the 5th time. He's the former WBO middleweight champion and the current WBO super middleweight champion of the world, the Celtic warrior, Steve Collins.
With the shamrock cut into his hair, he has a white and green gum shield, and he looks, quite frankly, very, very mean indeed.
Will now give his instructions to both boxers.
So the final formalities from Paul Thomas. Let's say we have a terrific fight here. Certainly the atmosphere deserves it. Can Nigel Benn upset all the odds and take the WBO Super Middleweight Championship away from Steve Collins? Richie Wood on your summariser, your commentator, John Rawling.
Big fight on 5 Live with the BBC. The WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Steve Collins, such a charming man outside the ring, confesses he's a different animal inside it. The atmosphere here is intimidating. The action is underway. First jab from Benn, off target. Collins tries to throw a body shot at Benn and already goes straight to him, toe-to-toe, and the two are brawling on the ropes on the far side, and the referee's going to try and get between them, and Benn almost pushes, Collins almost pushes Benn through the ropes, and the referee has to talk to them very, very sternly straight away. Now, who's going to land the first clean punch? There's been nothing so far. Collins tries to go in with a right over the top. Benn ducks underneath it, and is again separated by the referee. Good left jab from Collins, good shot, and Benn felt that one. Tremendous straight left from Collins, and Benn now goes untidily into the maul, but the best punch of the fight, the only real punch of the fight so far, came from Collins. It was a straight left, straight onto the jaw of Benn, and Collins tries to throw a right over the top. Benn slips it, holds on inside, tries to work to the body, and throws a little clubbing right into the ribcage of Collins, but no great power in there, and again referee Paul Thomas, 3rd time in a minute, has to separate them. Jab from Collins, made to miss with a right cross to follow up. Left hook from Benn, got through. You heard the cheer of the crowd. He crouched low and threw a left hook, taken on the jaw, granite-jawed by Steve Collins. Collins, that short cropped red hair, straight left and then a right into the body. Ben holds on again and the referee once more has to separate them. Untidy opening round. Good left from Collins as Ben ducks low, and Ben lands one round the back, rabbit punch to the back, and also gets a tipping off from the referee for ducking low, and he's told to keep his head up. Good left hand from Collins into the jaw of Ben. Ben is not elusive, he's not boxing, he's trying to get in there. Oh, and a right round the back of the head from Ben. Ben tries to follow up with a left with a right hook. Collins slipped it, got inside, throws a right to the body, and again Ben holds on, and a fascinating opening round. Collins tries to come in brawling again. Ben ducks low once more, and what an atmosphere here. It is absolutely pulsating. Right uppercut from Ben, and then Collins lands two solid lefts into the body. Freddie Roach, his trainer, his conditioner, has been trying to get Collins to concentrate on those body shots. Ben misses by a long way with a left hook. Collins just leans on inside, and the referee has to separate them again. 45 seconds to go in the opening period. Oh, good left from Collins. Ben rocked back onto the ropes. Left uppercut from the champion. Straight left again from Collins. Ben gets inside, holds on once more, and Collins has had the better of this opening period, to the way I'm looking at it anyway. Right into the body from Ben as he holds on, and once more, probably for the 7th or 8th time in this round. The referee has to separate them. Collins tries to unload with bombs. Right uppercut from Collins under left hook. Ben responds with a right hand, but he's meant to miss. Collins now is brawling with Ben. Ben pushes him onto the ropes on the far side. Ben nods to his corner as much as to say, I'm okay, but he looks disorganised in there to me. Right into the body from Ben. Misses with a right hook, trying to follow up. Collins misses with a left hook over the top. Ben leans on, almost pushes Collins through the ropes, and that was an all-action first round. Pulsating action. Collins smiles to his corner, but I gave that first round to Collins, I think, just edging it from Nigel Benn. Let's see how Richie Woodall got it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there was a lot of mauling, a lot of brawling with the first round. It was very untidy, very scrappy, but it's got to be said that Collins, of the punches landed, he landed the better shots, hurt Ben a couple of times. I think Nigel got through with a couple of shots himself, but as you said, in the round, he's got a chin like a piece of granite, that guy over there, and it's turning out to what we thought it would be. It's going to be a hell of a fight.
The question is Nigel Benn's resolve really there tonight? Because there have been people who've questioned it, and how long is he prepared to sustain this? Can he go toe-to-toe with Collins for 12 rounds? Because he might have to.
Well, that's right, he might have to. That's the big question that has got to be answered. Collins can fight for 12 rounds. It's whether Nigel Benn can match him for the 12.
Well, Collins won the first round on our card, now into the second, and Collins gets a word from referee Paul Thomas as he comes out and lands with a tremendous left to the body and then a right uppercut. He tries to land a left hook as well. Ben just out of harm's way, and again Collins misses with another one, and now they lean on and clinch, and Ben lands a left. Collins takes it so well, tries to throw an enormous left hook himself. Ben ducks low and it whistles through the air. Here comes Collins with a right hand into the jaw of Ben, and then a left into the body following up. Left jab from Ben, scoring punch, and then a left hook from Ben, and the crowd cheer him on. He got through with that one, but Collins took it so well, and again there's an untidy maul on the far side of the ring, and Ben tries to throw right hooks to the body, but he's held on by Collins, who now lands a left hook into the face of Ben, and he's trying to take Ben out. There's no question about it. He's trying to match fire with fire, and he's trying to prove that he's the stronger man once again. 2 minutes to go in the second. Oh, great right hand from Steve Collins, and Ben felt that one right down to his boots. Ben wants to hold on. Again, he looks to his corner and says, I'm all right. But that was a superb punch from Steve Collins, and Ben took it so well. Ben now leans on. Collins lands with another right hand under left hook, and Ben's in trouble. He holds on once more, and Collins is landing with all the power punches, and at the moment it's just not there for the Dark Destroyer. He's not, in all honesty, looked at his best since the Gerald McClellan fight in February 1995, and Collins is out punching him and out gaming him at the moment. Left jab light, right cross from Collins, and Ben holds on once more. The spark, I'm afraid to say, at this stage just isn't there tonight. Steve Collins holds on again, and they've mauled untidily. Great left hook from Steve Collins. I almost lose my voice. Right cross again from Collins, and Ben ducks underneath it. Left hook though from Collins, landed almost flush, and Ben did well to take it. Straight jab again from Collins, scoring punch, and another two ramrod straight punches. Left right from Collins, and then the Collins head comes into Ben's face. Referee does nothing about it, and now he does separate them. Is he going to tick Collins off? He doesn't. Left jab from Ben, scoring punch. Oh, great shot from Ben. Left hook, and Collins felt it. The crowd's on its feet. Collins though took it so well and comes back and throws a good straight left. Ben, though, got through with a tremendous left hook. Now a big right hand from Collins, and Ben wants to hold on again. It was almost a repeat of that first fight between them when Ben landed the big left hook. Collins took it so well then, he took it so well again now. It's one punch from Ben and another left lead from Collins. Great straight left. Oh, and a big left hand from Ben, but Collins takes it remarkably. He just blinked and now goes to work to the body again. Right hook from Collins. Two big shots from Ben in this round, but it's not going to be enough to win it unless he can follow it up. And referee Paul Thomas tells Ben off for punching low, and he says, I won't tolerate it. Keep them up, keep them up. Left jab from Collins. He's prepared to box a little bit more now, and Ben jumps in behind his own straight left. Ben's had he's had his moments in this round, but Collins, surely through work rate, is still doing enough to edge the period. Closing seconds of the second. Nigel, chants the crowd. Straight left from Collins, and there's a head goes in there again from the Irishman, but again no word from the referee. Great round. Two tremendous punches from Nigel Benn, but really, Richie, only the two.
Yeah, that's right. Again, I think Collins edged the round. It's got to be said though, Ben did catch him with a couple of good left hooks, but they never seemed to rock Collins. He came through them, but it was good to see there was more cleaner punches in that round, and it all started with Collins with a lovely straight right that caught Ben. It seems that when Collins catches Ben, there's signs of him wobbling. When Ben catches Collins, there's just no sign at all. But no, Nigel is still in there with every chance, of course, with the power shots that he has got, and it's turned into a better fight. It's certainly a better round than the first round.
His corner are really trying to keep Ben focused in there. Kevin Saunders, his trainer, his manager Peter De Freitas, because they know that the gravy train is at an end if he doesn't win tonight. If Ben doesn't win this one, there's no way back. Collins took that left hook remarkably though in the second round. Now into the third. I've got Collins ahead, but it could go all down to the judges, of course, and Paul Thomas is having a word with the two of them. I suspect it might be about use of the head, because there really was some very dangerous work, particularly from Collins in the second round, as he seemed prepared to really turn this into a toe-to-toe brawl. The two of them hold on and try to work inside. Right uppercut from Collins as the two parted, and Collins gets across with a right over the top as Ben throws a left into the body and then is made to miss with a clubbing right, and the referee's going to have to break them once again. Good straight left from Ben, and then ducks low, and Collins holds on, and again the referee's going to have to break them. Collins made to miss with a left uppercut. Ben comes through with a good straight left. Good work from the Dark Destroyer, and the straight left, and made to miss with the follow-up right hand, and Collins now wants to hold on. Good combination work from Nigel Benn. Oh, and Collins, did he take one on the way in? He just stumbled for a moment, and I just thought he might have done. Good straight left from Ben, who's certainly really psyched up for this fight. Ben knows that his career is on the line tonight. 32 years old. If he loses tonight in his 48th professional fight, the big time is at an end. Collins leans on the far side, and again there's an untidy maul. You'd expect this. You'd expect it to be like this. As the fighters tire, of course, the errors will creep in. Right uppercut from Ben into the side of Collins' face. Collins takes it well again, and once more holds on. Oh, good right hand from Collins as he comes out of the break, and now Ben wants to hold on and wants to maul. It was a right hook into the side of the head. Oh, flurry of punches from Ben. Comes out of the maul, throws a right, left, right into the head, and now Collins holds on, and the referee surely is going to have to split them, but he doesn't, and Ben throws two more hooks. Throws fighting well in flurries on the far side there. Good infighting from Ben, who's having the better of this round, but now in the third, back comes Collins, left into the body, right uppercut, made to miss with a left hook. A right goes round the back of Ben's head, and the referee now does have to separate them, has a stern word with both fighters. Good straight left from Steve Collins, and Ben ducks low under his left armpit, and once more the referee Paul Thomas, who I thought might have a busy night, is forced to come between them. Oh, Collins is almost down. He's made to miss. He slipped with a right hand, then took a left hook, and he almost went down, but I think it was a slip which actually phased him first time. But now Ben throws a huge right uppercut. Collins just takes it. Ben's ducking and weaving. Is he in trouble? And Ben takes another left hook from Collins, and this is real toe-to-toe war out there. Phenomenal round once more as Paul Thomas separates them. Busiest man in the ring, the referee, I think. Straight left from Collins, followed by a right cross. Got through with the left, missed with the right. Ben holds on and looks tired, and not surprisingly. It's been frenetic action, and the crowd are enjoying this one. Right round the back of the head from Ben, and this is... well, I think it's Ben's best round of the fight so far. Has he done enough to win it? Perhaps he has. Closing seconds now, last 10 seconds. Left into the body from Collins, then a right cross. Ben comes inside, doesn't throw anything, then backs off and misses with a right hand thrown from way, way back Last few seconds, end of a fascinating third. Has Nigel Benn maybe edged this one to get himself back into the fight just when he needed to? Not quite sure what the timekeepers are doing, because by my way of thinking, this is already way over 3 minutes. But there goes the bell at last, about 20 seconds late. And what a round.
Yeah, that was a great round, and I would definitely give that one to Nigel Benn, that round. He was finding the target much more often than Steve Collins was. The first 2 rounds he was having trouble with his timing, getting his distance, but that round he seemed to settle down a lot more, and he was definitely finding the target with some good punches, right hands, left hooks on the ropes. He was doing excellent work on the ropes, good combination work inside, and I would definitely give it to Nigel Benn that round.
The boos of the crowd of Kershaw, who's here at ringside with a cane and a rather expensive Victorian-looking outfit, rubbing his chin contemptuously and watching with great interest what's going on. I'm sure Chris would like to have a little share of the action again at some stage in the future, and judging by the boos and the instant recognition of the crowd, maybe that could be a lucrative option for either of these fighters at some stage. I've got Steve Collins at the moment 2 rounds to 1 ahead, but the second round was certainly close, and it's turning into a fascinating contest. Here we go into the fourth. Left lead again from Collins, and then a left uppercut. Oh, good left hook from Collins. Benn takes it well, though. Good straight left again from Collins. Benn made to miss with a left hook. Best punches coming from Collins in the early stages, and he holds on and clubs Benn illegally with right hands, gets a ticking up from the referee, but good power punches from Collins in the early stages of the fourth. Right hook from Collins, and another one, and a left. Collins lands with a good straight right. Benn takes it well, though. No danger of him having a glass chin on this occasion. And Benn now is bullied across the ring by the bigger Irishman. Benn made to miss with a right uppercut. Collins lands a straight left. Benn tries to work to the body with a right hook. Collins gets inside, and again they hold on. Collins hits with a right hand as the break comes, and then a straight left and a right, both on the jaw of Benn, who takes them well. And Collins is getting the better of the early stages of this fourth round. Right uppercut from Collins, another scoring punch. The dreadlocked hair of Nigel Benn flies back as every blow gets through. Right hand from Collins onto the head, then a left into the body, and Benn holds on once more. Anxious times for the Dark Destroyer, but as he turns on the ropes right in front of us, landed with a clubbing right to the side of the head, then a left right from Collins. Good combination. The Irishman, to me, looks the stronger man. Right hand into the side of the head. Benn holds on again, says something to somebody at ringside as he does so. He's looking for encouragement, Benn. He's trying to find one last glory moment. There was a big right hand from Benn onto the side of the head, but here comes Collins with those body shots. 2 hooks to the body, then a straight left. Benn makes him miss with the right counter. Then a left into the body and another straight left from Collins, and a right over the top, and Benn's lateral movement is going in the fourth round. He's starting to get flat-footed, and is his right eye starting to mark up a little bit as well. Another great straight left from Collins, and a right hook. Benn a tired-looking right hook in reply, and he holds on and leans on and looks to his corner with a little bit of desperation. Fourth round's turning into a big one for Steve Collins. Oh, another good left hand from Collins. Benn threw a right into the body, but there was a better left hand from the Irishman. Every punch which Benn fires, of course, is cheered to the rafters by this crowd, but Collins is throwing the better punches and the quality punches by my way of looking at it. Left lead from Collins again, and Benn this time just stands there and takes it, and that right eye is starting to mark up. It's swelling underneath, and Benn holds on again as Collins comes in behind the left jab. Left uppercut again from Collins, then a right uppercut, and Collins, that enormous strength, that astonishing determination which has carried him through 2 fights against Chris Eubank, through 1 against Nigel Benn, is it now starting to prevail again? Left hook from Collins as the 2 break once again, and 2 more jabs, straight lefts from Collins, and a right cross. Now body shots from the Irishman, and Benn's rocked back onto his heels. Closing seconds of the fourth, and the Dark Destroyer, to me, is starting to look mighty tired in there. Nigel Benn maybe is glimpsing now the end of the career and the inevitable. That was a big round for Steve Collins.
That was a very big round for Steve Collins. He started to dictate and show he's the man, he's the muscle man. He won the battle there, and it was good to see that it was a lot of straight punches there. That old combination of the old 1-2 seemed to be catching Nigel Benn with every punch, and from this moment on, I think he's just trying to take over, and he's being successful, and he's bullying Nigel at his own game, which is it's an all-action type of fight, but Collins is definitely getting the better of it.
There's some very anxious people in the Nigel Benn corner. You can hear them saying, you've got to jab, jab, jab. You've got to work your way in. And Benn just seemed in that last round to run out of belief.
Yeah, he seemed to run out of ideas, if anything, and Collins was catching him with a lot more shots.
Here we go into the 5th, scheduled for 12. You're listening to 5 Live on the BBC. Steve Collins, left lead, followed by a right cross, and then they hold on, and Collins just bullies Ben around. Ben tries to throw a right uppercut, but Collins will have none of it. He tied him up and works well inside, and a big right hand into the body from Collins, and a left hook from Collins. Ben tries to come back, throwing wildly. A right hand does get through, and another one. They're going toe-to-toe again. Collins ties him up inside. He said he'd get right on his toes for the whole fight, and he said he wouldn't give Ben space to throw those punches. And now Paul Thomas, the referee, says to Collins, pack it in, don't use your head. Left-right combination once more from the Irishman, thuds into Ben's head. How much more of this can Ben take? Another left uppercut from Collins into the side of Ben's head this time. Ben sways this way and that in a tired manner, gets through with the right hand, the left's made to miss. The crowd at the back thought it landed, but it didn't, and now they hold on again like two what would you say, two people just pushing against each other, trying to get a show of strength and trying to show who's the superior man. Left hook from Ben did get through, but so too did one from Collins. Then there's a left-right combination from Collins and a right hand, and the head goes in from Collins as well, and Ben is on the receiving end once more. One shot from Ben, 4 from Collins, jab from Collins once more. Ben made to miss. Straight right this time from Collins, and 2 wild, flailing looking, tired powder puff hooks from Ben. The spark's not there. He's got to find something. He's got to reach back into the past and find some magic from somewhere. But Steve Collins at his best. Here he is tonight. He, I suspect, might have matched Nigel Benn at his very best, and here tonight at the moment he's got the edge. Ben made to miss with a right hook, and Collins is right in front of him, going wading in with punches to the body, uppercuts as well, the head going in from Collins as well. Referee says stop boxing now. I think Collins is going to have a point deducted. He is. Collins is having a point deducted, and that's the use of the head. I think that was coming, and I think the referee's absolutely right. Collins has really tried to bully Ben in this fight, and that was absolutely right. Collins, though, is winning this fight big time. 2 more big headshots from Ben. Collins rather. Ben just isn't moving. He's swaying around, trying to bob and weave, but Collins is getting through again and again, and there's desperation in Ben's eyes as he looks once more to the corner. He's had a point deducted, Steve Collins, but he's winning this round by a street. Steve Collins is unloading. Ben's on rubber legs in the 5th round. 39 seconds to go in round 5, and here comes Ben. Right hand into the body. He's bravely trying to come forward, but Collins looks the stronger man and the fresher man, the more determined man and the hungrier man. Referee again has a word with the 2 of them. Ben gets through with a left hook. Collins just blinks and takes it well. A right hook follows up, and again Collins takes it well. But 2 good punches from Ben at last. Left hook was the real power shot. 14 seconds, 10 seconds to go now in round 5. Ben misses with a right hook, with a right over the top. Collins is made to miss with a left hook and another one. A right misses, but then a straight left from Collins does get through. Jab as well from Collins. Ben misses with his own right counter, and here we go. Big right on the bell from Collins. Big round again to Collins, but he had the point deducted. Richie Woodall.
Yeah, he had the point deducted, and that maybe will have evened the round up. Collins is fighting a clever fight here. I've been watching him very, very closely, and what he's doing, before he makes an attack, he's feinting, he's letting Nigel commit himself, and then before he launches his attack, Nigel commits, and then he's scoring with that 1-2 combination and following up with the hooks. He's a very clever boxer. We talked about it earlier that he's a good all-rounder. He can counter punch and he can fight as well, and that's what he's doing. He's doing a bit of the 2, a bit of both. He's mixing it up and he's being more successful. But it's got to be said, with the point deducted, then that round was definitely evened up.
So that's an even round. On my card now, if you call that one even, I've got it 3 rounds to 1 to Steve Collins. Would you agree with that, Richie?
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely in control. He's in command. There's been some shaky signs for Nigel Benn in that last round, and it's just a matter of time. How long can he go on?
Ben looks desperately tired. Here we go into the 6th halfway stage. Ramrod left lead from Collins. First punch of the round, and another one rocks back Ben's head. Oh, and then a big right from Collins over the top, and Ben wants to hold on. 3 punches already on. A good shot from Ben, and that gets a little bit of a buzz of appreciation from the back of the auditorium. Right hook into the body from Ben, but now here comes Collins again, firing, forcing the pace. Ben made to miss with a left hook, left into the body from Collins, and then another straight left. Ben's flailing away wildly. I think this might be the last desperate throw of the dice from Nigel Benn. He's decided that he's really got to go in there and wage war. This might be his last chance. left-right combination from Collins. Ben responds with a right to the body, and again Collins ties him up so effectively, right round the back of the head from Ben. Collins, great straight left, really good solid shot, but here comes Ben, left hook. Collins takes it well, holds on. Ben bravely coming forward. He looks so tired in there, but Collins is taking big shots. There are some terrific punches going in there. It's a great fight, this one. WBO super middleweight title for the World Championship. Left right again from the bigger Irishman, from Steve Collins. Straight left, right cross, misses with a left hook, then gets through with 2 uppercuts. Ben holds on, and a good left hook again from Steve Collins as the 2-part. Left jab from Collins. Ben misses with 2 more shots, and then another combination from Collins. Left right again. It's one-way traffic here. Ben's got to find something special. The 2 of them landed simultaneously with the head from Ben as he holds on. The referee surely is going to have to split them, but he doesn't. Another right hand comes in from Collins, and Ben, very tired, is pushed away. Straight left from Ben as the 2 from Collins as the 2 come in once more, and the Irishman holds on and holds his arms away, as much as to say it's not me who's holding. Right into the body from Collins, and then a right uppercut from Ben. Ben has to find something. Right hook gets through, but a big body shot from Collins. Great left hook, and Ben's gloves dropped, and there's words again from the referee for heads being used, but there's a terrific left body shot from Steve Collins, and Ben really felt that one. It was an energy sapping blow, and those are the sort of punches, and just look at the expression on Nigel Benn's face. I think he's still in pain from that left into the body. It was a terrific shot. The right eye of Nigel Benn is closing. Straight right from Ben does get through, but he gets 2 back with interest to the body. Then another huge body shot from Collins. This is what he's been working on. He thinks that Nigel Benn quit in the first fight, and he thinks that he'll quit again if it gets rough enough. Right hook, left hook from Collins. Ben tries to come leaping forward. Ragged stuff from Ben. He bravely tries to carry the fight on, but the right eye is swelling by the moment, and I think his corner might have pulled him out. I think that Ben might have retired on his stool. I think the fight's all over. It is. Steve Collins has won. Nigel Benn has quit once more at the end of the 6th. He was outstrengthed, outgamed, outfought, outboxed on the night, beaten by a better man. It's all over surely for Nigel Benn. A great career is over. He's almost in tears in his corner, being consoled by Frank Warren and by Peter de Freitas and by Kevin Saunders. I think Frank Warren saying, why on earth did you quit? But in truth, I think once more the writing was on the wall. Steve Collins was bigger, stronger, and Richie Woodall, he was also better.
Yeah, he was. We said this before the fight that Nigel would give it 4. I thought Nigel would go 3 or 4, maybe 5 rounds, give it his all, and then if Collins was still standing, then I just thought that he wouldn't. Well, I don't know whether he was going to quit, but I just thought he'd give it 5 rounds, and that would be his lot, and that's what it's turned out to be.
Boos from the crowd, but they're not in there taking the punches, and Nigel Benn took a lot.
That's right, they're not in there taking the punches, and how can you boo a fellow like Nigel Benn, what he's been through? He's been a great ambassador for the sport. He's given it his all. People are disappointed, but they've had 5 or 6 rounds there, quality, out and out, on the cobblestones outside type of a fight, and that's what they all wanted to see anyway, so how can they boo it?
The 2 embraced, that's what it's all about, and Nigel Benn just kissed Steve Collins on the forehead. The crowd's booing, but I think this is unfair. I really do think this is unfair, and I think it's unfair on Steve Collins as well, because he is a fine fighter. He is an excellent boxer, and he has once again outgamed Nigel Benn, and it is going to take one very, very exceptional man to beat this guy in this one.
Yeah, that's right, it is. He's such a strong guy. He worked very well to the head and the body. He worked the body tremendously well. A great all-rounder, Steve Collins, and such a rough and tough fella. He can take such a solid shot, and although Nigel Benn has lost tonight, boxing's won. No one's got really hurt. You've seen 6 rounds of quality stuff, and as I say, they're both walking away from the ring with a lot of money in their pockets, and I think everyone should be happy.
Well, I didn't say it before in the commentary, Richie, but I whispered in your ear just before the fight began. The last time I experienced an atmosphere anything like this was when Nigel Benn fought Gerald McClellan. On that occasion, a man went on too long. This time, Nigel Benn retired on his stool. He's not been badly hurt, and I think he should be respected for it.
That's right, we wouldn't. No one wants to see a repeat of what happened to McClellan. It was a tragedy. and this type of fight, then those type of things happen. For me, I've enjoyed 6 rounds of quality boxing, quality fighting, and I think they're both winners tonight, and I just take my hat off to Nigel Benn. I thank him for what he's done for British boxing. It's tremendous.
Steve's getting the cheers of the crowd. Nigel Benn throws his gloves into the crowd as much as to say, finally, that is it. I've had enough. And I think at the age of 32, we can safely say that Nigel Benn will not be back this time. Steve Collins is chaired aloft by, I think it's his brother there who is lifting him up. And quite rightly, he deserves a lot of credit. And the two men again hug out there. And there was a lot of bad mouthing and a lot of angry things said in the build-up to the fight. But once again, we do see that bonding between the fighters. The crowd's booing Nigel Benn, and I don't like that. Here we go. Nigel Benn wants to talk to the crowd. And listen to the boos. I don't think they like to hear this. The crowd booing. Nigel says, I want a few words, please, but the crowd this time are angry and they don't want to hear it. They think he quit this time. They know they think he quit last time. They know he quit this time.
Yeah, it's very sad, actually. They're just obviously very disappointed and they thought he could have gone on, but for what he's done for British boxing, I just don't think you can boo him.
I'd have liked to have seen Nigel Benn retire after the Gerald McClellan fight, and I think he'd have perhaps had more dignity if he had done. And it's sad to hear one of the most exciting boxers we've ever had get this sort of reception. Let's just hear what he says.
Now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, give credit where it's fucking due. Nigel Benn, the most exciting fighter in the history of British boxing. He was a great warrior. Give him a round of applause.
That's Steve Collins who got the mic, and he's saying give credit where it's due.
Time to call it a day. I can't go on. If you know, it might be another dark destroyer, but that's fucking it for me. I tried to go out and please the public. That's one thing I like doing, is pleasing the British public. I can't take no more. It's time to call it a day. Thank you.
Well, there we are. It's time to call it a day. Thank you. I think some of the language we can say is better left until after the 9 o'clock watershed, which indeed we are. But Nigel Benn now is hugged by his girlfriend in the ring, and I think now is leaving it for the last time. He's stepping through the ropes. I don't know whether he's going to do any interviews or not. I suspect he might not. What a load of rubbish the crowd is chanting. I don't like that. I really don't. No. Nigel Benn's leaving. He's not doing any interviews. He's had his moment. That's it. I don't think we're going to see Nigel again. He's ushered straight away out of the auditorium to the catcalls, the derision, the boos of the crowd. And there's one or two ugly scenes as well, as a couple of people in the crowd tried to throw punches at Benn. And this is a shame. It's a shame. But having said that, there are a lot of people...
His body was still inside a Hurricane aircraft which had been buried under a street pavement in Hove. It had previously been thought his grave was more than 200 miles away in Nottinghamshire. Natalie Martin reports.
The remains are believed to be those of Sergeant Dennis Noble, who was shot down during the Battle of Britain in 1940. 50 years ago, the site was open ground, but it's since been paved over and is now part of a residential area. Today's discovery brought back memories of the war for local people who remember the day the plane went down.
My vision, which has stayed in my mind forever, was this plot of land, green. And when we all ran to see it, we could just see this tail sticking up, and that was all.
Aviation enthusiasts were given permission to excavate the Hurricane because it was thought Sergeant Noble's body had been removed after the crash. Members of the excavation team have even visited his supposed grave in Nottinghamshire as part of their research into the plane and its pilot. The coroner has been informed.
A Scottish football supporter is planning to sue the sport's governing body FIFA over what he describes as his wasted trip to see Scotland play Estonia in a World Cup qualifying match last month. The game was abandoned after only 3 seconds because the home side failed to turn up. 2 days ago in Geneva, FIFA ordered the match to be replayed. Kate Fraser reports.
41-year-old Jerry Brady from Newton Mearns in Glasgow spent £1,200 for a 2-game package, taking in the World Cup qualifier against Latvia, followed 4 days later by the tie in Tallinn. Now his solicitors have informed FIFA of their intention to sue for negligence. They will argue that once it emerged that there were problems with floodlighting, security and staffing, as organisers of the tournament, it was FIFA's responsibility to ensure the game went ahead on schedule with both teams present. Mr. Brady says even if it costs him a fortune, he's prepared to seek compensation all the way to the Swiss courts, if necessary.
Police in London have recaptured one of the 6 prisoners who escaped 4 days ago as they were being moved to jails in the capital from Suffolk. The men overpowered their guards in a coach on the M25 and then escaped on foot in the Archway area of North London. Scotland Yard say the prisoner they've recaptured is Christopher John Ward, who was serving a 12-year sentence for robbery.
The American public, we want to assure the families of the victims of this horrendous tragedy that nothing like that has taken place, would take place, would ever take place.
Moments later, the orderly news conference was disrupted by a far-left demonstrator demanding an independent inquiry into the disaster.
The Navy is a suspect. The Navy is a suspect. Why should they be involved in the investigation?
Mr. Kallstrom didn't have much time for him.
Remove him. Remove him.
It was a zany incident not linked to the frustrations of families of the 230 dead in the crash. But it served as a warning to investigators that conspiracy theorists, often computer nerds fueled by the pseudo-history of some Hollywood films, have got their teeth into the TWA mystery. James Kallstrom revealed that though the investigators have recovered 95% of the wreckage, the cause remains unknown.
From the day after this horrendous crash, there were 3 theories in play: a bomb, a missile, or mechanical failure of some sort to this aircraft. As I stand here today, we don't know which one of those theories have caused this tragedy.
Seeking to demolish Pierre Salinger's claim in France that he had documentary evidence the plane had been downed by a US Navy missile, Rear Admiral Edward Christensen gave details of the nearest naval vessel to the crash site on July the 17th.
The ship was 185 miles to the southwest. The radar range with low power is less than 150 miles, which means that we could not have seen the TWA 800 flight on our system. We have analyzed the data recording tapes off of that ship and have found no indications of the TWA 800 flight.
This gave the FBI's James Kallstrom the chance to fire another broadside.
Based on our investigation, based on our hundreds of interviews, based on a whole lot of work, a whole lot of behind the scenes, we can say that the United States military did not shoot a missile at this airplane. The United States military did not shoot anything. The United States military was not in a position to affect this airplane one way or another.
It's unlikely an old hand like Pierre Salinger, an award-winning foreign correspondent after he left the Kennedy White House, wouldn't have foreseen the hornet's nest he was arousing. Many of those who died in the TWA crash were French, for the flight was bound for Paris. So French intelligence have been scrutinizing the case. The head of the American Secret Service in New York briefly appeared at the news conference denying his agents had passed information to Mr. Salinger, who claimed to have been tipped off by a Secret Service contact. Then Peter Galt, the National Transportation Board official liaising with relatives of those who died in the crash, had a go as well.
Mr. Salinger's recent statement about having proof has been unfortunate and irresponsible, not only for raising confusion in the minds of many people here and abroad, not only for causing consternation and pain to the families of the victims, but also for the fact that a once well-respected journalist would seize information that he now admits was third-hand at best and try to promote it as some scoop of his.
The real weakness in the conspiracy theory is how, in today's world, the Navy or military could keep such a blunder secret. Just about every week here, someone is blowing the whistle on a perceived error or cover-up of something official. That's part of the American way. Military missiles, whether land or sea-based, can only be fired through a series of cross-checked orders and action. But conspiracy theorists aren't deterred. They cite earlier examples of sinister cover-ups by the defense authorities.
Brian Barron.
Where the Senkaku Island issue flares up, then people immediately goes back to the old memory and it flares up again. And the accumulation of such incidents builds up amongst the Japanese, especially youngsters nowadays, that we are hated or disliked by many of the people in the Asian countries.
Well, that Senkaku Island issue, that's basically between China and Japan. Is it always that other people in Asia side with Japan's opponent? They never support Japan?
I think some of them do, but I think the majority of them do not. Whoever is fighting against the Japanese on the territorial issue, for instance. You mentioned China, but we do have one island issue with the Koreans too. And I think it all comes back to the old military intervention, military expansion to Asia in the name of the greater core prosperity sphere during the war.
Do you think that this trend, this feeling of other Asians towards you will change, or do you fear it'll always be there to some extent?
I think a lot of Asian people are trying to change, and certainly the Japanese are trying to change. But unfortunately, there are some old-timers in Japan, the right-wing politicians, who continue to pay tribute to the war criminals shrine, who continue to say something very critical about the denial of the Japanese military atrocities in China and the rest of Asia. And these would give a feeling to the Asian people that Japan hasn't changed. And the fact of the matter is, I think we have changed a great deal, and we turn to democracy. We're trying to do as much as we can in terms of economic assistance. But here again, some people in Asia takes it as, well, the Japanese who failed in the military intervention is now doing an economic means, an economic penetration.
Maybe it's just that Japan doesn't believe in itself as yet. It's still, as it were, to come of age.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to see. But I think as time goes by, it should solve these old injuries on the emotional and psychological ones. And I think the only thing we can do is continue to try to heal such injuries.
All right, well, it's a talking point that one could go on with for some time, but we will must leave it there. Thank you very much, Yoshio Murakami, a senior journalist with the Asahi newspaper in Japan.
Dewoga amaru ni ura, dewoga amaru mbi fola, wasolonga lubi fola, sangare umbi fowi, barika mobili kolanye, barika kanuna unye, dewoga amaru mbi fowi, dewoga amaru nyakansa, barika ji yalula, abijanga ibedisa, amadu di ale jiri, amadu di nyale sumuni, barika ji yalula, alifuzeni bari fanam fonye, itamanyo mbe fonye, amadu urada sele, amadu ni ura, da sele, dewoga amaru mana ba weka urada sele, amadu ni ura, da sele. Foli bea urada sera waso dajina ini uram dazile monye mogo ini seke uiga urada sele dajina ini uram dazile wolo fa salimu ke ya fanima urada sera dajina ini uram dazile wolo fa siriki ke ya fa wolo urada sele dajina ini Nambi fulam bolo razira dudaji na ili ura bolo razile.
Umu Sangre on vocals and percussion. Similarly, Nabintu Jakite on vocals and percussion. Alima Toure, also on the same instruments. Kasim Sidibe on ngoni and Boubacar Diallo on bass. That's the first in this session tonight from Umu Sangre from Mali, and the name of it was Kayini Wura. Exclude a concept album because it recalls the 50th anniversary next year of the Malagasy rebellion against the French colonialists, and the French used troops from Senegal, another of its colonies, to brutally repress the uprising. Ever since, the Senegalese have been demonised in Malagasy folklore, but Tarika's new album, Senegal it's called, meaning Senegal, attempts a reconciliation, and guest musicians on it include members of Baba Mal's band from Senegal, and this track is called Zotra.
Kawaze,
Produced by Simon Emerson, who also produces and plays with the Afro-Celt sound system, who were in session a week or two back. That's Tarika from Madagascar, and a track from the forthcoming album, released on January the 14th, called Sonegal, and the name of the song there was Zotram, which means transport, and transport is the subject of this next album. It's that compilation that's just come out on Diesel-only records called Rig Rock Deluxe, contemporary and classic trucking songs, and lots of people on there like Buck Owens, Don Walzer, let's have a see who else, Steve Earle, Nick Lowe and the Impossible Birds, and this one by Son Volt, and it's their version of one of the key trucking songs from the 1960s, Looking at the World Through a Windshield.
Sends you all his love, Frisco Bay. I didn't understand till I was grown why my daddy didn't spend a little time at home instead of running around the country that way. Whoa, I'm looking at the world through a windshield, seeing everything in a little bit different light. I got a sweet little thing that I'm dying to see. Rig by the likes of me, and they'll ride along the highways in this land. Gonna sign my name in this diesel smoke and let the ones that come along behind me choke and try to keep this pace I'm setting anytime that they can. Whoa, I'm looking at the world through a windshield, watching it fly by me on the ride. I got a sweet little thing that I'm dying to see in Nashville, and I'm down around Dallas and roll on south tonight. I pushed this rig through the fog and rain, and I've driven through the rough terrain of the Rockies to the docks of old L.A. On down that old Pacific shore, I swing north, head for Baltimore or someplace by 2,000 miles away. Whoa, I'm looking at the world through a windshield, watching it fly by me on the ride. I got a sweet little thing that I'm dying to see in Nashville, and I'm down around Dallas and roll on south tonight. And I'm down around Dallas and roll on south tonight.
Incident on the Snake Pass. Driving home on the Snake Pass all alone. That's not quite true. I was in the company of Radio 2. And Brian Matthew is telling me, take care, the roads are icy. John, you're a fool. Oh, what a fool. You thought you were cool, but you were a fool. Humming a refrain, I was oblivious to the wind and rain. Headlights in the night, I didn't see them till it was too late. Brian Matthew, you were right. I should have taken more care that night. I was driving too fast. I was driving far too fast. Who do you think you are, Sterling Moss? No, you're not, as you've found to your cost. should have seen it coming. I really should. And it comes back to me as clear as day. Those lights coming towards me. No! No! Look out! Look out! Trapped in a car. I was trapped in a car. Trapped in a car. I was trapped in a car. Fortunately, my injuries were only superficial. Having said that, to me, they were very real. I won't do it again. Not on purpose, anyway.
Look out! That's John Shuttleworth and Incident on the Snake Pass, taken from his new EP, Austin Ambassador Wire Edge is the name of it. And that's on, let me try and see it. Son Volt, it was, and their version of Looking at the World Through a Windshield. And that comes from the compilation Diesel Only Records, Rig Rock Deluxe, A Musical Salute to the American Truck Driver. 3, this is Alpha and Omega. They've a new album of their own out as well. That's Alpha and Omega, John Sproston and Christine Woodbridge. Ancient of Days was the piece, and it's one of the tracks on the new compilation Dubhead Volume 3, and that's on, is it IRS Records, it seems to be saying here? I can't actually see for the second. I will tell you a bit later on. And other people on there, Iration Steppers and D. Ruticle, The Mad Professor and Jar Shaka, the Disciples and The Roots Man, Blue and Red, and East Meets West. With the great Umu Sangare from Mali in session, you're listening to Andy Kershaw on BBC Radio 1.
97 to 99 FM, Radio 1, Newsbeat.
An appeal's been launched to free the Lester 2, two men held in Venezuela on drugs charges since last week. James Miles and Paul Loseby were stopped at Caracas airport with cocaine strapped to their chest. They say they were forced to carry it at gunpoint. 18-year-old James's dad, Steve, says the Foreign Office has been useless.
To be honest with you, the embassy's done absolutely nothing. They've more or less kept me in the dark. I came downstairs, put the television on, and there's my 18-year-old son being paraded. You know, it was just a nightmare. The amount of drugs they had on them tables, there's no way you could strap that round you. You'd be walking around like the Incredible Hulk, I would have thought.
The first international aid suppliers to relieve the suffering in eastern Zaire are due to cross the Rwandan border in the next few hours. An earlier attempt to get the supplies into the town of Goma was blocked by rebel forces. Drivers are being urged to take care as the first big chill of the winter takes hold. Freezing fog is forecast and roads are icy. Parts of Cornwall have suffered the strongest earthquake in the region for 15 years. The tremor cracked plaster from walls. Local Graham Williams says the noise was scary.
All of a sudden, it was like everything just started shaking, and I shook for, I don't know, it actually shook me rigid. And I jumped up and I said, what on earth is happening? And I opened my front door, and like everybody is out looking and saying all kinds of things like, you know, that was an earth tremor. And I thought, my God, it sounded more like an explosion.
Radio 1 Newsbeat, I'm Max Flint.
King